Hello, my name is Gabby Turner. Welcome to this pick a card reading. We're going to be getting a message from the departed. Now this could mean different things, and I want you to go ahead and set the intention. You know, for some of you, maybe you've been feeling a spirit around you and you're trying to understand what that spirit's energy is. For others of you, maybe you're wanting to connect with a loved one who's passed on. And this could be a human loved one. It could be a pet, because of course our pets are our loved ones. And feeling that definitely any and all of those could be the case. So it could be just some sort of like spirit that you're feeling around you in your home or somewhere, a departed family member or a departed pet. And I do want to give a warning here that if you are still feeling very sensitive about this loss, I don't think that this is going to be a light and airy-fairy reading necessarily, at least not all of the readings coming through. I don't feel that energy right now. I don't know if it has to do with the fact that we're in Scorpio season or what. It's just not the energy that I'm feeling. I don't think it's going to be dark or disturbing or scary. But I do feel like these are going to be kind of real messages that maybe are, not afraid of the shadow aspect. You know, kind of like the sign of Scorpio, understanding that the darkness and the light are equally true aspects of our reality, right? So in that case, we have three options here. I'm going to hold up these stones better so that you're not just choosing based on size. This one is a golden healer stone. Get the light down here. I don't know if that helps or not. It's got a little bit of an orange cream kind of a look to it. And this one is lapis lazuli. So of course they're all three heart shapes. And then we have selenite heart here. All right, so the timestamps are going to be in the description box below. Go ahead and find your timestamp, and I'll see you at your reading. All right, pile one, welcome to your reading. All right. I feel like the first message from the departed, whoever that may be for you, and I don't know if you listened to the intro, but you need to be setting that intention. Who is it that you're wanting to hear from? Okay? This person or this pet, this spirit, whoever it is, they're telling you, I'm not dead. I'm in a transition. I've simply transitioned. I did not die. I simply transitioned, is the initial message that I'm getting from them. And also felt called to use this shadows deck for this reading. So I'm not sure why, but we'll see why. Like I said, also in the intro, which you may or may not have listened to, I just feel like there's something about the messages coming through that are not like light and airy-fairy and easy breezy. But they do want you to know that they are not gone, that they have simply transitioned. So, their soul is very much alive. I feel like their soul is feeling extremely vibrant. We have disillusioned here. I feel like your experience with this departed has left you feeling disillusioned. Maybe you're not really sure what the reality is. Misguided, disillusioned and misguided. You may be lacking faith because of your experience with this departed, I'm just going to say departed soul, because some of you, it could be a loved one who's passed on, and others, it could be like a ghost or a spirit presence in your house that's got you questioning things. But in any case, this departed soul does want you to know that there very much is an afterlife where their soul is very much alive. And I think it is in a very light way. This is not a dark entity or a dark soul or anything like that. This is a soul that is very happy to be continuing to exist on the other side. You know, they are not incarnate, but they are very much alive. And maybe you're having trouble believing that. You're having trouble believing that they are continuing to exist in some fashion. I think some of you could definitely be going through some sort of spiritual awakening, or you're just seeking answers for these types of things. You know, what is real in terms of the afterlife? Is there an afterlife? What are the greater spiritual truths? Is there a God? Do angels exist? A lot of you are really questioning a lot of this, and it doesn't feel very real to you or something. Or you're just not sure what is real and what isn't in regards to these things. And you're not willing to take the plunge and say for sure that you do know, but you still feel captivated by this subject matter. Let's see. But this just departed soul is very adamant about letting you know. It does feel like for a lot of you it's going to be a masculine energy, a masculine soul, a masculine, someone who you knew as a male, a man. They want you to know that they are very much still in existence in spirit, and they are very protective over you. This could be a father or a grandfather figure for a lot of you. This departed soul wants you to know that they have been at notable celebrations that you've had. So weddings, graduations, birthday parties. They have been and they will be at those types of events in spirit. And I need you to know that. And they just want you to be reassured, although I feel the energy feels to me like you're having trouble believing in it. This departed soul very much views themselves as being on a soul journey even now, but a soul journey, you know, in the afterlife currently, I feel like, is how they're viewing it. But they feel very alive. They feel very alive and full of life. It's just a different experience of life. So they're wanting to tell you about what their experience is on the other side. For some of you who've had children, or there are children in your family who've been born after this person passed away, they're saying, you know, I may not have been there when these children came into the world in their incarnations, but I do know them at the soul level. They're talking about these, a child or maybe multiple children having very willful personalities. I hear this departed soul saying, well, they're just like you. I could never tell you what to do, and you can't tell these children what to do. They have their own mind. They're very willful. It's sort of like these are the types of children that come into our family, you know. I think they are finding joy in it from their perspective. they're like, maybe these kids keep you at your wits' end sometimes. But from up here where I am, it looks like such a joyful experience of them just being free to be themselves and exert their personality so strongly. I think, because, you know, I opened this up saying this could be different types of souls coming through, but it does feel very much like a father figure for a lot of you. And I think this father figure is saying, when I was alive, I didn't necessarily give you free rein in a lot of ways. I feel like they're saying, I did try to kind of take control of your choices to a certain extent, or strongly sort of exerted my judgments on your choices in life, even though you were trying to be free to make your choices the way that you wanted. And I feel like they're saying now, from their perspective on the other side, they see the benefit of, it's kind of like I don't think it's a regret exactly. It's just they can see it differently. They're like, okay, you just have to make your own choices. We all have to make our own choices. And if I were to do it differently, if I were to be able to make my choices based on my current perspective, I would have just let you make your choices more freely, and I would have been more comfortable with that, knowing that this is just the journey that your soul had to go on. What else? They are saying that you have made some very interesting romantic choices. But they feel, because I feel like a lot of you have children, they feel that you needed to make those romantic choices so that certain children could be born into the world, because I feel like a lot of you also have children, or there are children in your family, and people had to make particular choices, so that those children could be born. All right, any final messages here? That's pretty much it. I mean, the message delivered is what I'm getting here. This departed soul wants you to just receive this message as sort of a gentle, kind expression of their love, No major revelations. They just want you to know that they are real. And that these are the thoughts and the perspectives that they have. From the other side. They certainly don't want this message to cause you any kind of burden or frustration or conflict or anything like that. They simply actually want you to feel a little bit more safe and secure in knowing that they do exist, and that they do still have a point of view about your life even now, although their perspective is a little bit different, as we've already said. All right, so I hope that was really helpful. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye. Okay, Pile 2, welcome to your reading. You can just forget everything I said in the intro, because I feel like for you guys, this is not someone who's departed at all. It may be maybe they departed in the sense that you've kind of cut them off or moved on from them. But I was getting, as I laid out the cards, the Fleetwood Mac song, Go Your Own Way, which is very much a song about romantic love. And it's from the perspective of someone saying, you're basically choosing to be alone. You'd rather be lonely than to be with me, but I would have given you the world. So go ahead, go your own way, I feel like this is more so like some sort of soulmate or twin flame energy or whatever, regardless of those types of labels. Like, this is a romantic love of someone who's still very much in love with you, but you have chosen to go your own way. And they're like, okay, fine. I see that you've chosen that. It doesn't come through in a resentful type of energy to me. It's like they're just acknowledging... This person is acknowledging that you've chosen to cut things off, and that you maybe have your own reasons for doing that, and they are trying to honor it, but they don't understand it totally, because they wanted to give you the world. I see them kind of represented here by this rose in their hand. They're like, okay, we have to kind of go our own way for now, but their love for you, I feel, is not going to die. And I think they're just acknowledging maybe this separation needs to happen in order for us to kind of understand ourselves more fully. Certainly you seem to be, Pile 2, needing your space is what this person feels. So anyway, I hope this is not too much of an adjustment for those of you who really felt like you were going to be getting a message from a departed loved one. Maybe if you felt drawn to one of the other piles, that could be, you know, your reading for that. But this is definitely someone's soul speaking to you who is very much still alive and in love with you. Their heart is still very alive for you. Their love is very much alive. And I think that you also do love this person, and you still think about and contemplate, but you really did need to kind of like find your own way. You know, you needed to go your own way. You needed to kind of like find your own abundance and create your own reality on your own terms. So that's the energy that I'm getting here. Let's see what else. Yeah, I mean, I feel like this person is saying, I'm not gonna fight to keep you in my life when you needed to kind of escape. You know, you needed to escape from this, and I wasn't going to just demand that you stay. It's sort of like if I loved you, I was going to set you free. But you were going to be free anyway. You didn't have to be set free, but that's their energy. Like they're like, I just want you to be happy no matter what. And I understand that definitely, at least for the time being, you do need to be free from me. And I'm not going to worry too much about it. I think it's better for both of us not to be in that state of mind of anxiety and worry. It's better to just accept this separation for what it is. Perhaps the time apart could eventually bring us back together, but we never know what the outcome will be. I feel like this person is trusting that the outcome will be positive, that, meeting each other, knowing each other, that these were seeds that will produce some sort of better outcome than if you had not met. But that doesn't necessarily mean that you'll come back together. I feel like they're really acknowledging that. We may or may not come back together, but I feel like it was beautiful that we did meet. I think this person is saying, I'm not going to run from the spiritual messages of this connection either. And if part of the spiritual messages that I need to learn are through us being in our own different lives, doing our own different things, then that's just what it has to be. I feel like they do feel like there is some sort of greater message that there is some greater level of enlightenment that the two of you are meant to bring to each other that they don't feel like they've fully gotten yet. It's like they're not totally understanding the complete message or meaning or purpose of this, but it shook them to their core to the point that, it totally influenced how they approached their life. They're like, there was some greater meaning to this. Maybe I can't make sense of it yet quite in my head, but this connection totally changed my life and my approach to life. Yeah, it created a new version of them. I think but they're not trying to fixate on it. They're like, I know that there's more to this. There was something more here, and they're like, I don't quite know what it is, but I trust that in the end I'll figure out more about why we were brought together in this way, because it was earth-shattering, but it was earth-shattering in a good way. I feel like this connection with you really opened this person up to be able to take some sort of risk in their life, or like let go of a mask that they'd been holding up so that they could become a more true and authentic version of themselves. It definitely shaped their spiritual beliefs and maybe their approaches to spirituality and religion. And I think it kind of freed them up just in terms of how they connected with or expressed their spiritual and or religious beliefs. Like I think it kind of made them understand that part of that spiritual truth comes from within them. Like they connect to that through their spirit and their soul. It isn't just, well, let me just listen to what other people tell me I'm supposed to believe, but it's something like that they recognize that part of the puzzle piece in terms of their spiritual worldview rests within them. Let me see if this is correct. Nope. They're saying I'm not channeling it correctly. What is it that this soul wants me to say? Oh, it was within you. That's what they're saying. Part of what they needed to understand about their spiritual worldview was within you. You were some sort of missing puzzle piece in terms of their spiritual worldview. And they feel like they understand it all better. I think this was someone who was already spiritual and or religious, but they couldn't piece it all together, and now they feel like they understand it. They can own their spiritual beliefs more because you made them feel, it's like you gave them wings. You gave them the wings that they needed to fly. And also to leave behind certain trappings, certain spiritual, religious practices or beliefs or something that were keeping them trapped from really being free to be in touch with their greatest spiritual truth. But I feel like they see that you also are a little bit trapped, maybe by limiting beliefs. So it's not like they're like, well, you're some angel who came into my life, some perfect angel who has no flaws. They know that you also are sort of navigating this terrain as well. And I think that they're not sure the extent to which they have been able to help you come to greater spiritual insights. They're not really sure if they've been able to influence you as much, or they're not even sure, is that my job? Is that part of why we were brought together? Are we both supposed to do the same thing for each other, or no? I feel like they're leaning towards no, like it's not really my job to be a sort of spiritual inspiration for pile 2. But I feel like they're not sure. They feel like there must be some sort of counterbalance. Like there must be something that I'm meant to bring into pile 2's life. And there is, they're still not sure what it is. But I think what it is understanding maybe the difference between someone really treating you with love and someone who simply wants to kind of own or possess you. And you've just had to make, they have helped you to make certain choices in your life as far as that goes. Better choices for your life. I think you want them to make better choices for their life too. But I feel like there's something about them that shows you more what's possible, but at the same time, for some reason, you're choosing to be on your own and not in this person's life. I don't sense any grudge on either side. This may be one of those things where you both do kind of love each other, but you also kind of understand like, well, this just isn't where life is really meant to take us, at least for now, maybe not ever in this lifetime. I think both of you sense that there's more to the story in some sense. All right, so what else is there? I feel like now your spirit guides are coming through. Your spirit guides are just saying, like, don't overthink this message. You know, you just needed to know that you did have a tremendous impact on this person, and that they do still have a love for you. Yeah, we have two cards that have to do with insecurity. The Eight of Swords here, and this card that says insecure. I feel like if this person could tell you anything, they would want you to not feel insecure in comparing yourself to other people. Maybe they sense that, or this could be at this point your spirit guide is coming through. Or maybe this person is also sort of a spirit guide to you, but there's a sense of, like, it seems like maybe you get insecure about certain things, especially when you're comparing yourself to other people, what other people have in life, which is a very normal thing to do. I think, you know, this person is saying that's not something that they can complete within you. They don't really have what it takes to, you know, that, like, you complete me thing from Jerry Maguire. Like, nobody really completes anyone else. This person is acknowledging that, like, I cannot complete you, you know. I'm over here trying to complete myself. Neither of us can complete the other. You know, they certainly acknowledge that you have benefited them in a big way. But they want you to see more clearly who you truly are, and that there's no reason for you to feel envious of anyone else or insecure. They might even be saying you don't realize how insecure other people are when they compare themselves to you. You know, you're not seeing the full truth here. It's not necessarily that you should be happy that other people would be envious of you, but, like, if you knew the extent to which that was true, you would probably be a little bit embarrassed at your own insecurity. Like, it wouldn't even, if you could see the whole truth of it really, like, it would make no sense to you. Why any of you, like, why anyone in the world is insecure or envious of anyone else, like, none of that would make any kind of sense if you could see the whole truth. A lot of people are simply trying to numb themselves out because there's just so many people in the world who are not truly appreciating or enjoying life. It's so easy to want to just numb out. And maybe one of the ways of numbing out on the actual experience of life is just to assume that other people have it so much better. But, like, this is such a common experience of people not feeling complete in their own lives, not feeling comfortable in their own skin. Like, that's like that is a pandemic in and of itself. It's like the entire world is sort of haunted with, you know, this sort of overarching emptiness. And we're all just looking for something to fill that void and make us feel okay in the moment. This is getting real deep here, guys. Yeah. It's like because of our lack of true clarity and true sight, we bring a lot of pain on ourselves. And I do feel like this is some sort of awareness that, you know, this love interest of yours, who you moved on from, or you have separation from, this is something that they do see more clearly than you do. Whereas you may have seen some sort of spiritual truth or approach to spirituality or religion or belief systems more than they do. They see that you're causing your own pain through comparing yourself to others, or feeling like, if only I had the life that so-and-so had, then everything would be okay and I would be fine and I would be happy. They're certainly not judging you for feeling this way. They're feeling like this is a very pervasive thing that they've noticed in the world. It doesn't touch them as much for some reason, like they don't have this problem as much, because I feel like this is a very confident person coming through. They have their own issues with instability, I think, but they don't necessarily have this problem of thinking, oh, if I only had someone else's life, or if I only had this thing that such and such person has, or that thing that such and such person has. They understand that really what matters more than anything is love. Shocking. What really matters more than anything is love. How shocking is that? All right, any final message here from your guides? Just a final takeaway. I mean, this person definitely very much loves you, but it's in a very pure sort of way. And I feel like they do love you enough that they do want to come through and give you this message, which they just have, about kind of seeing things more clearly, cutting through the confusion to see the real truth. And this person definitely envisions you in happiness. That's what they want for you more than anything, is they want you to be happy and joyful and content within your own life. So I really feel like that's pretty much all that I have for you guys. I hope that that was helpful. It was a very interesting message. Thank you so much for watching. I'm glad you were able to find this message if it resonated for you. And I'll see you later. Bye, guys. Welcome to everyone who chose option number 3, the selenite heart. So I do feel like, first of all, what I'm getting is the departed soul who's coming through here. They either currently have, or they had when they crossed over, a difficult time kind of finding their way. On the other side, it was very confusing to them. They weren't really sure, I think, at first. This was a soul who was definitely confused in the passing over process. I do feel like for the most part, they eventually did find their way through to the light, but it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy to find their way to the light, basically. All right, so I'm just going to use tarot to see what else this soul wanted to tell you, because they do want to acknowledge, maybe some of you already kind of had a feeling of that. They may have even shown up in your dreams in a particular way where you were kind of aware when they passed over that it wasn't a smooth crossing over process for them. I do feel like they have now, though. They have greater clarity now, but it was quite a journey for them. Why are they wanting to talk to you about that? I think that they just feel like they want to provide some sort of relief to you, that they are happy and well on the other side, you know. And Nothing in life is perfect. Even the crossing over process, it can be confusing. It's the same thing for when a child comes into the world. When a child is born, sometimes the process isn't perfect. There can be, a crisis situation when a child is being born. It happens in both directions that, it's not always seamless. They feel this departed, I feel like for most of you this is probably a departed loved one, although, take it as it resonates. If you're feeling a particular spirit around you, this could be that spirit talking to you about their experience. But I feel like this departed soul, whoever they may be, they do see you as very wise, very intelligent, but you also sometimes don't see certain things. Like you have a very broad perspective on things. You know a lot, but there are some things you still don't know. And it's almost like you're a little bit, maybe even right now, walking through the darkness a little bit and through the confusion, kind of like they were when they were crossing over. And they kind of see that when you get to the other side of that, all of the confusion that you're currently in will make more sense to you, just like it did to them when they were trying to move into the light and they couldn't really understand the process. So I do feel like you may be going through some sort of metaphorical death and rebirth process, and you're not really seeing the bigger picture. Maybe you think you do see the whole picture. This soul is saying that you don't, but they're kind of happy that you don't, or they see the joy in the fact that you can't see the whole picture yet. There's some pieces of the puzzle that are missing, and because they have their own spiritual wisdom, they're seeing that that's part of the fulfillment of this, of whatever you're going through, is that you don't see your way through it. It's almost like they're laughing at you because you're making mistakes, but they're laughing in a joyful way. They're not like they're making fun of you, but they're like, it's funny to them to see you making these mistakes despite how intelligent you are. Because it's like they're like hovering above. Let's say you're trying to find your way through a maze and you can't see your way through it, right? Because you don't have that perspective. But from their perspective, it's so easy. You could be so close to the end of the maze and yet turn the wrong way and be in that maze for like hours longer when you were only a few steps away. So this is how they enjoy seeing you work your way through the puzzle of whatever it is you're experiencing in life right now, because they know that just the process of working your way through whatever life situation you have, even though the answer is so easy, the answer is right there, and you're so smart. It doesn't matter how smart you are. That doesn't mean you're going to see how easy it is. Because this is what the Five of Cups is all about too, is like the way past. I mean, this person is ruminating on these 3 cups that have spilled over. But there's a whole castle over here. They just have to take some steps across this bridge to get there. But they're so sad that they aren't where they want to be in life. So that could be sort of what you're experiencing, like, I'm not where I want to be in life, and it's causing sadness. It's not like your departed loved one or this soul, whoever it is, they're not glad to see you in sorrow, but they're glad to see you kind of forced to face the difficulty of the puzzle of life, Like, you got to figure it out. Everybody's got to figure it out. Sometimes you got to put your hand on the fire in order to learn not to put your hand on the fire. And it's almost like they're kind of glad not to have to be doing this for you. You're like, well, I'm glad I'm not the one who's having to live out these particular circumstances. I'm glad that's part of their happiness. Like, they're glad that they can simply observe you doing it, because as easy as the solution seems to be from them, from their perspective, they also know that if they were in your circumstances, it wouldn't be easy either. So they're very aware that it's only because they have this higher perspective of being on the other side and looking at it from above, so to speak. That's the only reason it seems so easy. They wouldn't want to be in your circumstances. You know, they wouldn't want to trade their circumstances for yours. But they are glad that you will eventually figure it out, and that the whole process of figuring it out and getting to that outcome that you do want, or better, you know, they know that it's going to turn out well for you. You might feel like it's one step forward and two steps back, but it isn't. And this departed soul knows that. It's two steps forward and one step back. There are obstacles, but you're definitely going to find your way through this. They would suggest, you know, they don't want to be the one to do this for you. They don't feel like it's their burden. I'm getting that as well. Like, you know how a lot of us who believe in spirit guides and angels, we want to call upon those, call upon our guides to ask us, what should we do now? What should we do? You know, what's going to happen? This departed soul of yours, departed loved one, or whoever it is, they're like, that is not my burden. It is not my job to do this for you. And they're glad. They're like, whew, so glad not to be having to do that. But they would say, if they had to suggest one thing, they would just say, don't worry about it so much, you know, but that's all they're going to give you. That's the only, that's the only little insight they're going to give you, is just don't worry about it so much. And don't be so afraid of the future. That's what they're saying as well. The future is going to turn out just fine. It's easy to get fixated on not wanting to take the steps until you know exactly what the future holds. But you're never going to get to the future that you truly want if you're not taking these steps. Let's see here. Yeah. Yeah, it's just like you're blocking your own blessing. And they're like, well, that's just what you got to do until you figure out that you're blocking your own blessing and take the steps that you need to take despite the fear of the unknown. Then you're just going to keep going around in circles. There's nothing to worry about. There's nothing to be fearful about. But this departed soul knows that it's human nature to feel those things. All right, what else? We have shocking reversed. You know, it's like the answer to your problems. I'm going to put problems in quotation marks because it's not, it's like if you were walking through a maze or something. That isn't really a problem. It's just the circumstances you happen to be in. The solution to getting out of that maze is not shocking. It's not some like difficult to grasp answer. It's just a few steps in a particular direction. Projecting. Wow, I don't even think I've ever seen this card show up in this deck. I don't use this deck a whole lot though, but yeah, it's like you might be blaming circumstances on the wrong things. The only thing to blame is that you haven't taken particular steps yet, and you shouldn't be blaming yourself. The blame game is not going to help in any direction, but you are a little bit fixated. Again, back to this Five of Cups, kind of fixated on this isn't working, this isn't working, this isn't working, but you're wasting a lot of energy focusing on that thing that isn't working. But what would you rather have? These 3 cups that have spilled over, or like this whole ass, I don't know if it's a castle or whatever, but like house, whatever it is, it's worth a whole lot more than these 3 little cups. And even though these cups have spilt over their contents, you could still pick them up and take them with you. Like, things are just not as bad as what you are believing. You're projecting a lot of unnecessary misery and turmoil on your circumstance. It's almost like you're being self-indulgent in your own misery, just wallowing around in your own misery at, why can't I find the end of this maze? Why can't I find the solution to my problems? Now, I hope this isn't insulting anyone, because I do feel like this is a message for me, and I know particularly which departed soul it is who's speaking to me. But, you know, this is, we're getting honesty here, you know. And this is, it says invading reversed. Yeah, this departed soul definitely is very adamant about the fact that it is not their job to solve this problem for you. They're simply just telling you what they see. That's all they're doing. I'm just simply telling you what I see. There's absolutely no interest on their part of doing the work for you. I don't know why they keep wanting to say that, but one-sided. Yeah, I mean, I feel like they are calling you out a little bit because, and me, like I said, this is definitely for me, of like, you know, when we ask our spirit guides to help us and ask our spirit guides to help us, it becomes very self-involved of like me. Help me know which path to take. Help me know what to do to get out of this maze. You know? And your guides are like, you know, I'm not getting anything out of this other than helping you, but this is your journey. You know, like, am I really helping you? You have to make your own choices. Like, take the sheet off of your head so you can see, and then just, you know, climb over the fence. It's not that hard. So I do sense a bit of tough love here from your departed loved one, saying you are kind of refusing to see what's so simple, but, you know, they're acknowledging that they did the same thing when they were alive. So it's not that they're judging you, but they are seeing it very clearly from where they are. And the escape hatch from your present circumstances is just so easy. It's so easy. But you have to find it in your own way. It's a final message from them. Just, I love you. Even before I pulled that over, I knew that that's what it was going to be. They do want you to say that they do want to say that they love you very much. That they're bringing this message in peace, but it is definitely a tough love message. Yeah, it's a wake-up call. Like, listen, this is a wake-up call. I'm not doing this for you, but I do want to give you, like, a wake-up call. You know, I see how easy it is, and you're making it so much harder for yourself than it needs to be. And they're also kind of like, stop asking for help from the divine, you know, from your angels, from your spirit guides. Like, they're a little bit exasperated with you always doing that, when most of what you need to do is simply take certain actions. Yeah, it's like you have to be willing to take risks and not just hold on so tightly to, I'm not going to take any action unless I know it's going to be 1,000% successful. You know, that just isn't how life works. So in any case, this is the message that I'm getting for you. I really hope that was helpful. It was helpful for me, tough love or not. Like, this was actually the message that I needed. So even if it doesn't help anyone else out there, I know that this message is coming to me from a particular loved one, and I am very appreciative of the insight and the tough love and just the love, right? So hopefully it hit home as well with at least some of you watching. All right, guys, thank you so much, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye.